Hi, it's Martin here at GSA Golf in Naples, Florida. We're looking today at the club tracking camera. Usually the club tracking camera would be used with ball tracking cameras, but it can also be used as a standalone system. We can choose that in the setup window of the control panel. Be one of those three. So once the camera's been physically mounted in its overhead position above the trigger mat or the hitting mat, we're going to have to focus the camera. To do that, we're going to use the control panel, set the camera into video stream mode. Normal shutter speed of the camera is actually quite fast because we're going to freeze frame capture the images of the club just before impact of the ball, and that will normally be around 50 or 80 microseconds. For video stream mode, that's going to be too short, not going to be enough light, so we're going to increase the shutter speed, or decrease it rather, in order so that we can see the images. Okay, so once the camera is actually streaming visible images, we can probably the worst part of the setup is actually getting on a stepladder and aiming the camera at the right position, adjusting the zoom, adjusting the focus, especially the focus. Okay, so the focus dial is actually the last dial on the lens. You can move it around or go in and out of focus, and you'll find a setting where it looks reasonably good. Bit tedious this, but it's only done one time. If you're having difficulty seeing the focus with just using the fibers, you can put a sheet of paper with some pretty text on there. If you can read the text, it'll be in focus. The text here appears a bit overexposed, but it's good enough to set the focus correctly. If this is a new installation, new setup, it's probably best to hit the right click the defaults button, so we get factory default settings in here. The trigger mat contains an optical sensor, and its position has to be set up in the control panel in order for the system to measure the club head speed. Even though we can visually see the trigger in the images here, it's always better to use a club or an object to actually trigger the camera so we can set the exact trigger position. I'll just move a club over the sensor to trigger the camera. There it is. Okay, because the trigger position hasn't been set yet, we've got some crazy speed. It's saying 47 miles an hour, I think, here. So we need to set the trigger position, so bring that down to 0 miles an hour. Just move that over. And there we are, 0 miles an hour. Okay, take a few swings, darken the image. If you darken the image, then we can see the crosshairs a lot more clearly, and just take a few swings so that it's capturing the club face correctly and also the speed. One, another one. Okay, we can see that the scan zone is a bit too close to the club, so we would have to move that out further to the left. To do that, just select the left scan zone and drag that border over. Another position that's required to be known by the system is the ball position. I'll place the ball on the mat now. And so for the system to calculate club head speed, we need to know two values. one will be the distance the club has moved since the trigger, and the time it took it to get there. The speed is equal to distance over time. The time variable here is actually a constant, and it's hardware set to 1 millisecond. Distance, however, has to be converted from pixels, which we've got here with the camera, into real world values, and this is done using a scaling factor, pixel to millimeters in this case. To set the scaling factor, we can use the size of a known object in the image, in this case a golf ball, which has a diameter of 42.67 millimeters, and set the scaling factor so that it matches that. You set the ball size to the number of pixels and then the scaling factor. The blue lines represent the scan zone area. It's left, right, top and bottom, and it's important that the left one is the most important. It shouldn't, the ball shouldn't be in the valid field of view of the camera. The other one's on the right, not so important, but this one here, that is. As we've set the ball position on the tee, or hitting position on the mat, the system can calculate the distance the ball was from the sweet spot of the club when the contact was made. Okay, we'll make some practice swings here. Maybe practice swings without a ball. So this is a open club face and a closed club face. Using a 4-iron here, just doing some half swings. And swap over to a driver. I want to point out that the club path is not being measured here because A, we're not using a ball, and B, we're using the CTS Lite, which is a single camera version. Club path with CTS Lite, a single camera version, will be calculated from the face angle and the ball direction. And a wedge. You'll notice that in contrast to our monochrome club tracking camera using tracking dots which couldn't detect club face angles with irons, the color camera detects them perfectly. Okay, that's the basic setup procedure for the CTS color club tracking camera. Note that although the CTS can be used as a standalone system, it is usually used together with our CX2 ball tracking cameras, and this is known as a CX3C. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.